Welcome everybody, Mr. Gordon here talking to you about checks and balances, and I want to thank Citizen Genius for their help in putting this little video together. So as we're going to talk about today, it's the system of checks and balances. So let's take a little review in terms of what you know and some examples. So when we're talking about checks and balances, we're really talking about our three branches of government, and as we see, or we're seeing whether or not in the coming days they're going to shut down, we're talking about the legislative branch, Congress, Senate, and the House of Representatives, the executive branch, the President, Vice President, and the Cabinet, and the judicial branch, the Supreme Court, and all of the lower branches. And together, those three branches make up our government. But our founding fathers were against any one group from becoming too powerful. So they separated the powers into each of the three branches. And in that, they created a system of checks and balances to really keep any one group from becoming too powerful. And that's exactly what you see in the definition. Each branch has the power over the other two to prevent one from becoming too powerful. A simple way is each branch can check the power of the other two to create a balance of power, limiting the power of the other branches to make sure that it works. So let's look at some examples. Our first example is how the legislative branch checks the power of the executive, the president. Congress can actually remove the president if they feel it is warranted, and they can convict him or her of a crime. And that impeachment may remove them. Very rarely done or even thought about. On the other hand, the executive branch has the power to limit the power of Congress through the veto. As you guys know from last year, all laws passed by Congress must get the signature of the president. If the president signs it, it becomes law. If the president vetoes it, the law does not become a law, although Congress still has one more check in that they can override the veto themselves. Additionally, the legislative branch can check the power of the judicial branch. And the way that they do that is by rejecting the nominees to the Supreme Court or other federal courts. The Senate gets to vote on each nominee. If they vote yes and give them the thumbs up, congratulations, you are a Supreme Court justice. If they vote no, then too bad, and the president has to nominate somebody else. The judicial branch has the power to check the legislative branch by declaring laws unconstitutional. The judicial branch's whole focus is making sure every law follows what the Constitution says. And if not, then Congress would have to rewrite and create a law that does follow the Constitution. Now let's look at the judicial and the executive. The executive can check the power of the judicial branch by pardoning convicted criminals, or in the manner in which they nominate certain people for the Supreme Court. But the president can actually remove or free people who have been convicted of crimes. On the other hand, the judicial branch can check the power of the executive and president by declaring their actions to be unconstitutional. And it doesn't just have to be the president, it can be the cabinet or the vice president as well. And we've seen that through executive privilege and other actions that the executive branch has taken. But if declared unconstitutional, the executive branch must stop. So that's our system of checks and balances in about 4 minutes. So in class on Thursday, we're going to talk about it and do some scenarios. But the ultimate goal is to make sure that you have the knowledge and have the ability to take the necessary action as a citizen. See you in class.